Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome in. Since 1999, the American Sim Racing League is bringing you all kinds of sports car and various racing across the iRacing platform. Tonight kicks off a little bit of the old versus the new with the Chevrolet Corvette C7 Daytona Prototypes with a little blast from the past, going back to the days of ALMS Grand Am racing. Then we've got the pinnacle of modern production sports car racing, the GT3 Machines on tap here tonight. 2 heats coming your way. 20-minute heat to kick things off, and then a 40-minute feature to round everything out. This is Racers Nexus. I'm Rob Campbell. In the booth with me tonight, Richard Swindells. Welcome in, Rich.
Nice to be here, Rob. My first time here with the American Sim Racing League. Really looking forward to this early morning race or qualifying effort at Daytona.
Yeah, bright and early here in I was going to say sunny Florida, but you know, as you mentioned, early morning here, the sun hasn't come up yet. So, but I feel like we were just here last night doing some GT3 machinery. We saw a ton of action in that one, and I expect to see a lot more action here this evening. We got almost a perfectly split field here, 50-50 with the prototypes and the GT3 machines. So that's going to be fun to see, bringing back the old Daytona prototypes, harking back to the ALMS days before IMSA was even a thing. So they're going to be driving on a very old tire model here this evening, Rich. So it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers get accustomed to that compared to the very new tire models that you would find on the modern GTPs and the GT3 machines. But let's take a look at the weather. 66-degree Fahrenheit air temp, 68-degree track temp, partly cloudy. I checked the radar earlier. I didn't see any rain in the forecast, so I think we should be fine. But actually, I don't think the old prototype cars even have rain tires on them, so I don't even think that's an option here this season, Rich.
I think that would have been something if we did have rain though, and they were on the slicks, Rob. But I'm glad we're not going to be seeing that. Taking a look at that, those are quite the nice looking machines still to this day, and what a great sound.
Oh yeah, it definitely has a nice little sound there as we go on board with Christopher Hill. Currently sitting second place in the prototype category for qualifying. We'll bring up the standings here in a moment, but let's take a look at our season info. Oh, actually, it's not the right season info. We'll scrap that, and I'll fix that up for a little later on. One of those things I forgot to catch, but 20-minute heat here, Rich, and then we'll resort, restack for a 40-minute feature. Our understanding is they're going to have to make a fuel stop in the feature, not in the heat race. We're going to be limited on fuel, so we'll have a little bit of strategy coming into play in the feature race. So another, iron in the fire strategy wise for our drivers. So it should be a ton of fun.
Yeah, it's my understanding that both the 20-minute race and 40-minute race count the same. So it's paramount. You want to get maximum points, you got to make it happen in the shorter race as well. But just over 4 minutes left of qualifying as we watch Christopher Hill spin it after the start finish line. They've got only 2 laps of qualifying they can do, so just a few cars remaining to get their laps done.
Yeah, we've got a few camera cars with us this evening too as well. One of them being Damia Dania. To see him currently sitting in second place in qualifying. The youngster putting in a very quick time early on here, Rich. Only 2/10 back of our current pole sitter, Brody Gunter. So nice run for him. And then just having a look here, doesn't look like any of our, oh, no, sorry, I said that. Avery Hart sharing his camera too as well, out on track, yet to set a qualifying lap time yet. So looking like he might be starting at the back of the prototype grid here this evening, Rich, where I think last check we have about 10 prototype cars in the session this evening.
Yeah, like you said, a good mix. I think we've got 10 and 10 or 10 and 11. So that should make some very interesting and good racing. Normally, in multi-class, quite often we see one class has a lot more than the other, but a nice even split here. I believe they may have a teams championship starting up tonight, and I think they have to have one of each class in the team. So I think that helps determine the split and makes that nice even spread, as we say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of curious what the overlap is here on lap times, and I'm having a look. The prototype's not all that much faster than the GT3s. The top time in the prototype class, a
Whoa!
139.7, and our top GT3 driver, 145.7. So only about 6 seconds separating them, Rich. That's going to make for some dicey situations potentially if the prototypes catch up to, say, a pack of the GT3s in the infield. They might have to wait a couple corners to be able to make that move.
Yeah, definitely. I was just sorry, Rob. I was a little distracted as you're talking there. As we were watching, the one Mustang had gone over the curbs coming through the chicane, not Keon Maduro, but the previous car, and the front end just came right off the ground. I thought he was about to take flight, but managed to keep it going straight.
Yeah, I kind of caught that out of the corner of my eye as I was looking up some information at the same time. But we saw those new curbs in the, I guess they're calling it a Le Mans chicane now, not the bus stop anymore. And we saw a number of drivers last night in the GT3s take a little bit of abuse through that section. So it'll be interesting to see if any of our drivers suffer that same result here this evening. I know those prototypes not very pliant suspension, so going to have to really be cautious as they're heading through there.
Yeah, I would think we are going to see that this evening as we got Tommy Cook doing some burnouts after completing his qualifying effort. We're looking on board now with Avery Hart, following Avery Hart coming around through the first couple of corners at Daytona. Avery Hart is sitting in 5th overall in class right now. Looking to better. We'll see if Avery's got what it takes to move up field. I guess Avery's all done, just doing a little bit of cool down. Tommy Cook just roasting the rest of those tires. He's going to put a new set on for the first race.
I gotta say, he's got those nicely spaced tire tracks. So look at that, it's almost perfectly spaced, only about 12 inches in between each set of rubbers. So hats off to Tommy Cook.
Yeah, he's painting a bullseye on the tarmac there.
So it looks like all of
Looks
our
like a
cars,
spirograph.
yeah, looks like all of our cars have set a time that's going to set a time right now, Rich. Looks like Brian D's our only driver who did not put a time in qualifying in the Corvette DP Prototype. So he's going to start at the back of the prototype field, but we got 23 cars in session here this evening. Oh, sorry, correction, 24, as Rowan Metz just popped in at the last moment in GT3. So looks like we're going to have 14 GT3s, and that's going to leave us with, if I do some quick math here, Rich, 10.
Oh.
10 GT or C7 Daytona prototypes. So
You're pretty quick on the abacus, Rob. Nice work.
I had to pull out my hands and my a couple toes to get that one calculated up. I didn't want to look like a fool, but we're just waiting for the clock to tick down here, and then we'll have a look at the grid for this evening. What are you expecting to see here, Rich? We don't see heat racing too often in sports car racing. It's something you see more in like open wheel and maybe Mazdas and the really slower categories. So it's kind of interesting. We got some sports car heat racing here this evening.
Yeah, it's something I'm not used to seeing, and I'm really excited to see what happens, especially as we're coming onto the high bank oval section, as the prototypes start making their way through the GT3s. Be interesting how everything handles and everything works out. So, gonna be a lot of fun or this morning, I guess we'll call it. And as the sun rises through the course of this race, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. As sure what's going on here with the SDK. All of a sudden, it's decided to load the wrong timing and scoring here, Rich. So let's get rid of that. And we'll get the proper grid up here this evening. Take a look at how everybody's going to start up for this one. On pole, Brody Under takes top spot away from Damian Dania. Dave Seats going to start in third with Christopher Hill to his outside. Avery Hart and Robert Monday in fifth and sixth. Seventh and eighth is going to go to Travis Fleming and Roman Curdy. Joshua Rutherford in ninth with Mike Hamlin in 10th. And then 11th place gets us into the, actually 10th place gets us into the GT3s with Mike Hamlin taking pole in GT3. Nathan Carter going to start in second in GT3 with Kevin Burrows to his outside in 12th place.
Yeah, 13th place, we've got Austin Verway. 14th, Daniel Miglin. Then we had Keon Maduro with Sam Baumgarten in 16th. 17th, we've got Victor Aldridge. 18th, Tommy Cook. 19th, we've got Corey Rutherford. 20th, we have Ty Marasco. 21st, Jordan Journeau. 22nd, Kenny Stepp. In 23rd, Brian Dees and Ron Metz rounding out the field.
24 cars gridding up. Interested to see Rowan Metz was the last one into the lobby, and he has not grid up yet. So I'm wondering if maybe he logged in here, hoping, it's Daytona. I might just throw it in on track and see how it goes. Maybe he's just going to start from the pits, but we'll see. 23 of the 24 drivers in session on track, pulling out behind the pace car. Here we go, Rich. We're going to kick off week one. The first heat, 20-minute heat coming our way, and then we'll restack them back up for a 40-minute feature. Should be a ton of fun. It's going to be interesting to see the different strategies here between the 20-minute sprint race versus the 40-minute feature race a little later on.
Yeah, definitely interesting. It looks like, unfortunately, Rowan's not going to make the start of this race. Hopefully he can get everything working for the second race. Having some technical difficulties, so hopefully we get to see him for the second. But we've got a little short pace lap here at Daytona this morning as we can look, Rob, the sky's starting to brighten up here at the start of this race.
It absolutely is. As we're getting to breakfast time here now, Rich. Fire up those eggs. Get yourself a little bit of bacon and toast going. That breakfast ready.
Maybe some sausage, yeah.
It's time to do some racing here at Daytona. So it looks like we're not seeing much of a separation between the two grids, or between the two classes. So the GT3 is going to start tucked up right in behind the prototype machines. We should see the pace car dive off here in a second. There it goes. And let's get ready to race here, Rich. 20 minutes of action coming your way. The Daytona Prototype's going to lead them away. The blast from the past into turn one. Looks like Brody Gunter going to get the whole shot here from his top position, but Dave Seats under fire right now. Damian Dania into the inside. Avery Hart right in there too as well. Christopher Hill, Travis Fleming, Joshua Rutherford up there. Robert Monday and Roman Curdy all through. So far so good. Oh, I was going to say looking clean, but we've got a BMW and a Corvette off. It looks like Austin Vervey and potentially Nathan Carter getting tied up here into turn two, but thankfully look like just light little kisses on the wall, Rich. They're just going to lose a little bit of time. They'll get back on track, and hopefully they can start their charge back towards the front.
Yeah, that's the best of a worst case scenario, and no harm, no foul. It looks like just a little bit of delay, but Brody Gunter off to a great start. Brody Gunter in the lead here right now, about 0.8 of a second over Dave Seats, who's up one position. Damian Danier falling down to third on the opening lap so far, folks. Relatively clean racing, having a good race here as we're on board here with Damian. We see Damian with the in-car cockpit and very nice camera view there. Interesting perspective as you look Damian coming down here towards the chicane, putting it up, using a bunch of the curb, but you don't want to use too much here because they can bite. As you can see, Damian taking a little bit of air there on exit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody tucked in, nose to tail, all in a row, getting that draft.
Yeah, I was kind of curious. It was nice to see that. It looks like those prototype cars, being so low slung that they are, actually navigate through the bus stop fairly easily. We see Daniel making the move on Seats here into P1 or turn one. Sorry, to move up into second place, coming back to where he qualified. But Christopher Hill making the move inside Dave Seats too as well. So I'm not sure. Maybe Seats got to slow down through the bus stop there as he slowed up quite a bit. Rich lost a couple spots. Now Avery Hart putting some pressure on him right now. So Hart trying to make the move around another one of our camera cars. It's moving and shaking here for Avery Hart. Up one spot now into fourth place as Dave Seats continues to fall back.
Yeah, I think Dave Seats having a little bit of issue there, going off track and all the way to the back. It looks like he's slowing right down, Rob. I think he may have some damage. Maybe he took those curves a little too hard.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He's luckily for him though, we'll re-rack him, sort him up, and go again after this race. But the head honcho here at American Sim Racing League, Corey Rutherford, Purple Haze Autosports is bringing the broadcast to you this season, so thank
I love
you
that
to
team
them.
name.
So
Love that team name.
Corey out there on track, he's sharing a camera with us too as well, so we'll pick him up on screen as he's trying to put some pressure on Tommy Cook in that BMW up ahead. Rutherford up 3 spots where he qualified. Cook too as well, both up 3 spots. So they're working together here to make themselves a little bit of a team. I don't know if they're a team in general, Rich, as you mentioned. The GT3 and a Prototype have to be matched up together for a team. So, but they're as far as working together on the track, they've got this sorted out here early on.
Yeah, definitely do. But Keon Maduro is leading the charge right now. Keon kind of off on his own right now. Nobody ahead of him. He's the lead car in the GT3s, and the next car behind is Sam Baumgarten in the McLaren. Sam's about 3 seconds back, so those two have kind of gapped the rest of the drivers. The real battles in GT3 starting in about battle for third on the podium with Victor Aldridge and Nathan Carter going side by side across the start-finish line.
Yeah, it looks like Carter going to take that position away, get himself up into third in class, 13th overall. That's going to drop Aldrich down into fourth place, but he's still +3 on the day. Carter down 2 spots, so he's on the recovery run. We saw a little bit of an issue for him early on, but that's a sharp paint right there for Victor Aldrich, the TWRS paint job. That's one of the painters too as well, one of the sponsors for the league. CGR Graphics too as well, so nice to see all these sharply painted cars out on track this evening.
Yeah, that is nice. I may have to get a hold of him and get some work done if I ever get a chance to get in the car instead of being on the mic. But we're going back on board with the prototypes. Brody Gunter now is getting all kinds of pressure from Damien Dania. Damien going up the inside as they're about to enter the chicane. Master late breakers, but so far so good. Brody Gunter holding up Damien Dania. Christopher Hill right in behind. These 3 cars having a great battle.
Yeah, Danny getting a good run out of the bus stop. Moves to the outside. Can he make the move stick into turn 1? Gunter going to hold on to the bottom line. He'll have the preferred line through there. We saw last night, we're used to seeing the drivers go way out wide into turn 1, Rich. And we mentioned a couple times the new track limits. You can't take it all the way out past that white line. A couple drivers got caught with slowdowns. So Dania going to have to back out. Doesn't want to flirt with that nasty slowdown on the outside there. He'll regroup and try and out to their charge. But Christopher Hill right there is the top 3 have broken away from the rest of the DP pack.
Yeah, that's just some great battling, great close racing. Nice, clean, respectful racing. Go back a little bit further. Travis Fleming. Oh, Travis Fleming in 6th place. Having himself a good race here. He's got Roman Curdy ahead. Robert Monday behind. Right now, these 3 drivers all nose to tail. Just a matter, Rob, this track is really about, maintaining your position on the infield, in my opinion, and really taking advantage of the draft and using some strategy on the high bank oval.
Yeah, it's your passes, for the most part, as you mentioned, Rich, going to be made on the oval into the bus stop and into turn 1. More or less, you're just playing follow the leader on the infield unless somebody happens to make a mistake, which can happen. That kink in some cars, it can get real nasty through there. You can lose the back end, snap around, but these prototype machines going to have a ton of downforce. They're running the medium downforce setup, I believe is what we heard in the chat early on, as we've still got our top 2 battling here in prototype. Is, oh no, Damien Dania is around through the bus stop. He's going to fall down to 5th, 6th, 7th, possibly even 8th place. Brody Gunter catching up too as well. So we'll take a look here at what happened to Dania as he was heading into the bus stop.
Going side by side, they come in. And not enough room for both cars, and we had some big contact. And wow,
that was our
rather
top 2 cars there, Rich. I didn't realize Brody Gunter was involved too as well. So that was both of them taken out there. So we'll see if they can work their way back through the field, but they're going to have just under 13 minutes to do it. So we'll see how they manage in the resort for the feature race. But heavy damage on the front end of Gunter's car. Looks like he might have got the worst of that one.
Yeah, it's my understanding that they do have the option of a quick, fast repair in the pits, but unfortunately in the 20-minute race, there's no scheduled pit stops. So if you go into the pits, your race is pretty much over. So they're going to try and keep going. But we're going back on board live with the in-car camera. Corey Rutherford up the inside. Looks like Corey Rutherford getting away with one there. Mike Hamlin, or actually, sorry, that was Ty Maraska, I believe, went off track, spun around. Corey taking full advantage.
Yeah, let's see if we can take a look here at what happened to Marasco in the all-black Mustang heading into turn one. Just had the back end snap around. We saw that happen a number of times last night too as well. The Mustangs, they don't like heading into a corner real quick, Rich. We can see them snap around very easy, but Damian, Dania, and Brody Gunter still battling out, but Christopher Hill, by way of that wreck between Gunter and Dania, has got himself up top of the prototype field, 3.5 seconds ahead of Avery Hart, who's feeling a little bit of pressure from Roman Curdy right now.
Yeah, definitely feeling a little pressure, and that draft is going to be well used. Oh, speaking of draft, this isn't drafting, this is bump drafting, folks. Roman Curdy is not looking to pass here at this stage. They're looking to push forward, trying to catch Christopher Hill. I thought I heard something on the radio. These drivers are definitely working together, Rob, looking to close that gap to Christopher Hill up ahead. While that was going on, unfortunately, Tommy Cook also had one of those Mustang turnaround sweeping incidents just as he was entering the well, this is a little bit later on. He had another issue. I think he had some damage, unfortunately, but Tommy Cook also had the back end snap around on that Mustang. So Mustangs giving a little bit of problems here and there to people, and this is a little bit later on. So Tommy Cook not having the best evening thus far. Hopefully he's looking for a little bit better in the 40-minute race upcoming.
Yeah, he came into the bus stop there very shallow and kind of just hopped over the curbs. So unfortunate for him, but we're on board here with Travis Fleming. He's got Dave Seats just up ahead of him. Seats a little bit of damage on the splitter in the left front of that car, so he's tangled with the curbing a little bit. That's going to hamper his straight line speed. We'll see if Travis Fleming able to capitalize on that, Rich, as they head into the bus stop. Looks like he's not getting quite enough run to get ahead of him into the bus stop. Gonna have to settle up, get a nice run out of the bus stop, make the move into turn one, or potentially even a little further before they get to turn one, if that damage is really hampering Dave Seats.
Yes, historically speaking at Daytona, you really want to be making your passes down in this section of the track and not going into the bus stop. Going into the bus stop can be done, but quite often it ends in disaster. But Travis Fleming getting all over Dave Seats right now. Travis Fleming, his car unblemished. Dave Seats, he's got a little bit of aero damage on the front. They're going to go side by side going into turn one, but for now, Dave Seats holding out Travis Fleming. Travis Fleming's going to have to tuck it in behind.
And we'll bring up our battle for second place on the inlay, where Avery Hart and Roman Curdy work together to try and chase down Christopher Hill. They've actually cut into about a second of that gap, Rich, but still sitting at about 3.5 seconds, so they still have some work to do. As we take a look at Dave Seats and Travis Fleming still battling it out on the infield. Looks like Fleming going to try and go the long way around through the second horseshoe. I think he's finally going to have that pat. Oh, I spoke too soon, Rich. Seats fought back on the inside, was able to hold onto that spot, but I think eventually with that damage, he's going to have to give up the ghost here, and Fleming's going to have to find a way around.
Well, yeah, Fleming's definitely going to have to find her way around, because Seats is the cork in the bottle right now, but doing a great job of driving and holding off the Chargers. I mean, when you have that kind of damage on a high-speed blanked oval, that's pretty impressive. But we're going to go on board here, or back looking at our GT3 class. GT3 class, the drivers are separated out a fair amount, except for these two here. We've got Mike Hamlin here. Mike Hamlin following along behind Victor Aldridge. Mike Hamlin starting to apply a bunch of pressure here. Mike Hamlin down a few positions, now getting by here. We're going to go side by side. Victor Aldridge tucking in behind. This is the tricky section here. So coming, exiting, getting back up onto the oval. Both drivers getting through cleanly. That's where we see some cars snapping the rear end around, but everybody getting through just fine. Mike Hamlin up to third place in class.
Yeah, nice run for him. He started on pole in class, though. Rich has fallen down to third in class, so he'd probably like to try and catch Baumgartner. I don't think he has any chance of catching Maduro right now, who is well down the track, 14 seconds up ahead, now leading the GT3 field. A little bit of a master class here for Maduro in heat number one, this 20-minute sprint race. Barring any massive casualty here from him, he should be able to take this one with about 7.5 minutes to go.
with those kind of lap times and consistent lap times, I'm wondering if Maduro may have spent some time in the seat in that Mustang doing the 24 hours of Daytona this weekend, Rob, because he's definitely got some pace and knows his way around this track.
Yeah, he's looking like he's put in a ton of practice this week. That anime paint theme on his car, that's sharp looking too as well, although it's a little dark for an early morning race, but it's still sharp. It's going to look nice once the sun comes up, and we can still see on the inlay there, Hart and Curdy working together, trying to catch Hill up ahead, but they've got that gap down. Actually, no, it's grown back up here now, Rich. It was about 3.3 seconds. Hill's starting to open the map back up and now to about 3.8 seconds. So he's saw them working together in behind, found a little more top end speed to open that gap up. Christopher Hill looking strong up front.
Yeah, Christopher Hill's doing a good job. Roman Curdy, Avery Hart, still just working together, bump drafting and doing the best they can, but it's not enough, folks. It's only a 20-minute race. We've got 6.5 minutes left, and that's quite the gap that Christopher Hill's built up, thanks to the misfortunes of others ahead of him. Oh, getting a little bit loose there, but managing to get everything back underway. These two drivers working together, but they keep doing that. Dave Seats and that damaged prototype is kind of broken free from Travis Fleming, and Dave Seats may get back into this battle, looking maybe to get up to second.
Yeah, Fleming now feeling some pressure from Dania. I thought for sure with that damage on the front of Seats' car, he wasn't going to be able to keep up the pace, but as you mentioned, he is actually closing in on that battle for second place. So I'm not sure where he's finding the pace with that damaged front end, but maybe that's the secret sauce on these old Corvette prototype cars, Rich. You kind of bang in the front, get a little more less downforce in the front end, you go even faster at Daytona.
Well, it gives it more of a, I was going to say, maybe a little bit like a brick wall as they're going through the infield. a little more grip somehow. But Damian Dania climbing back up, trying to fight back after that earlier incident. Now trying to apply some pressure to Travis Fleming, going up the insides. They're about to enter the chicane. It's going to be a test of wills here. Battle of the late breakers. Damian Dania getting by at this stage. Nice job, nice pass on Travis Fleming.
Yeah, nice move. We know he has the pace. We saw him battling up front. Had that unfortunate incident between he and Gunter into the bus stop, falling back. We're just under 5 minutes to go now. That's going to give us, those are going to be about 3 more laps, does it look like here, Rich, potentially for Hart and Curdy to try and close that gap down on Hill, but Hill doing well to maintain that gap, still about 3.5 seconds up ahead. And now we see Dave Seats is right there in that battle, although he's going to go a little wide through turn 2. Up and over the curb, had actually the left front wheel off the ground there, Rich, for a little bit. Doing a little Tony Hawk grind on the curbing.
Yeah, I was watching that. I'm like, wow, that's a 3-wheeler there. It's almost almost like watching a kid's tricycle going up and down over those bumps. But Dave Seats falling back a little bit, but doing a tremendous job with the damage on that car, just maintaining the position he's in. Dave Seats, though, has got to look out. Damian Dania in behind. Travis Fleming now. This is going to be a good little battle, I think, Rob, for the last 4 minutes of this race.
Yeah, it's not, it might not be out of the realm here to see this trio catch up to Curdy and Hart up ahead and have a 5-car battle here for the final 2 steps on the podium in the heat race here, Rich. Is these 3 behind, moving very quick, moving up through the field, but another driver who's been moving quick all race. Again, Maduro, comfortable lead up ahead, although Baumgartner's taking a couple seconds out of it. I think that's just a matter of Maduro realizing he has a comfortable gap, kind of backing out of the throttle a little bit. No need to push and have that chance of wrecking yourself. We've seen the Mustangs being very eager to spin into turn 1, we'll say, so you don't necessarily want to have that happening to you. It looks like we had something happen to Joshua Rutherford here. Let's take a look and see what happened to him in the prototype. It's like maybe a solo spin. Oh, just the back end just snapped around. Not sure if he got in the grass there or just running maybe a little too much rear bias, or maybe a early downshift there, Rich, but that was a real quick snap around for him.
Yeah, that was rather unexpected to say the least, but now we've got some good racing going on here. Roman Curdy, 3rd place. Dave Seats in 4th. Damian Dania in 5th. And wow, this is what we want to see, folks. Through 2 minutes 35 seconds left, just a couple of laps left to go. They're battling, and they're battling hard here. Whoa, we see a little bit of smoke. Using all of the track, and then a little bit extra. Getting some dust back up there, but Ron McCurdy holding off Dave Seats, Damon Gagne, and Travis Fleming right now.
Yeah, Avery Hart's broken away from this pack. He saw those other drivers coming. He said, heck no, I'm getting out of here, Rich. I don't want to get involved in that. Looks like the battle's going to be for third spot. But yeah, you saw Roman Curdy locking up the right front. Dave Seats, again, surprised with that damage. Doesn't seem to be affecting him a whole lot. If anything, it's giving him even more pace here. Is he going to make the move on Roman Curdy, take that final step on the podium away? That's going to drop Curdy down into fourth place, albeit Curdy still up 4 spots where he qualified. So a nice run for him so far. But Damian Daniel lurking in behind. We know he's got a ton of pace. We've seen it all throughout this race. He's going to be eager to try and take that spot away from Curdy.
Yeah, and the younger you are, the braver you are, Rob. This is going to be a fantastic finish. Nose to tail, 3 cars. We're going to come across the start-finish line. 2 on the left are doing a little bit of bump drafting. Damien Daniel going around the outside. Damien Daniel getting that pass done. Roman Curdy dropping down. Now Damien Daniel's got his sets on Dave Seats. Dave Seats has got to hold him off for another lap or so, maybe 2.
Yeah, Daniel not quite got that pass done here yet. Curdy fighting back. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Curdy going to go around. Daniel's going to wait for him, though. Recognizes he got into the corner. That's gentlemanly racing there. And he gets on the mic, apologizes right away. So nicely done there by Daniel. But that allowed Travis Fleming and Avery Hart to really break away. So it looks like our podium's set now in Prototype. Our podium pretty much set in GT3 too as well, with Maduro looking strong, but Mike Hamlin has managed to get around Baumgartner up into second place. That's going to drop Baumgartner down into third. So let's take a quick look here and see how Hamlin got that done. As they head up the big, Baumgartner got up into the wall, cost him a bit of time, and that's all Hamlin needed to move around him.
That'll do it. You lose all momentum, and you need all the momentum you can get at this stage of the race, but we're taking on board Christopher Hill. Christopher Hill's kind of been leading this race for quite some time now, just looking to polish this and finish this off. Christopher Hill had himself a great race with a big lead, doing quite well this evening.
And Hill going to capitalize on that incident between Gunter and Dania. He'll take heat 1. Nicely done for him as he's across the line. Avery Hart going to come home in second. Roman Curdy going to outlast Travis Fleming for third. Daniel's going to come home in fourth. Maduro takes top spot in GT3, as he's only got a little bit of the banking oval section left to go to claim his win. Mike Hamlin sitting in second place. Baumgartner lurking behind, though. We could potentially see a move here for second place at the line if Baumgartner can get enough of a run. They've still got to deal with the bus stop and then the run to the start-finish line here, Rich.
Yeah, and anything can happen in the bus stop, and we're going to keep calling it the bus stop, folks. That's what we know. That's what we love. And look at how much he closed. Baumgartner doing a tremendous job closing down on Mike Hamlin. I think he's going to run out of time, but he's giving it all. Rob just needs a little more track than he's got left.
Yeah, fortunately the clock going to be his nemesis here as Maduro across the line. Hamlin going to get across just ahead of Baumgartner. That's going to round out the podium in class. We hop on board here with Nathan Carter. He's got Corey Rutherford just up ahead of him trying to make the run to the line. The Mustang looks to the outside. Rutherford in the Ferrari. And they're going to tangle at the line. But Rutherford going to cross ahead of him in either way. But Nathan Carter on the mic apologizing right away for Corey. But what a finish. They ended up finishing the same positions they were in. So at least we had that.
How many NASCAR races have we seen finish like that? I wasn't expecting that in GT3 racing, but it looks like they managed to cross the line, so no harm, no foul.
Yeah, and that's going to make it official here for heat number 1. Let's take a look at the official results here from heat number 1, Rich. As you see, Christopher Hill going to take the win. Avery Hart and Roman Curdy round out the podium in the prototype class. with Fleming and Dania rounding out the top 5. D's, Gunter, and Monday, the top 8 drivers. And then we have our GT3 winner, Keon Majuro in 9th place, Joshua Rutherford in 10th in Prototype. Hamlin and Baumgartner round out the GT3 field podium. In 11th and 12th, Victor Aldrich, Corey Rutherford, Nathan Carter, Daniel Miglin, Dave Seitz, Ty Marasco rounding out your top 18 drivers. 19th place overall goes to Burrows with Estep, Journo, Cook, Verwee rounding out the field, and Roman Metz a little late getting to the grid, but he's going to finish up 3 laps down.
Yeah, it looks like Rome managed to fix his technical difficulties. He had the mechanics working hard, got him back out there. So looking for a little more now with the 40-minute feature race to come after 5 minutes of warm-up. 20 minutes, now they're going to get used to driving in the daylight. So drivers put on a new set of tires, put a little more fuel in the tank, get out there and do some laps, and see how the track is now.
Yeah, we'll take a quick little break here just to grab a drink, and we'll be right back.
There might be some rain coming through. We expect rain soon. Rain is close. The session has been declared wet. No sign of this rain stopping. Rain is clearing up. Rain should be gone for now. Nothing but sunshine all day.
Okay, we're back after that quick break. About a minute to go in the warm-up. And we just had a quick look. And according to Richard Swindell's crack investigation, we found out that the complete grid will invert. So Rowan Metz, who a little late joined the party here, Rich, he's going to start on pole for the 40-minute feature race.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if they separate it out by class or not, but if they don't, it's going to be really interesting. But we will find out just the same time as all you folks at home. So really looking forward to this 40-minute race. They're going to have to stop for fuel at some point as well. So give it a little something extra for this over the 20 minutes where they're just going full out.
Absolutely. So we got the season info fixed up here during the intermission. Let's see, this is week 1 of 10 coming your way. Today we're at Daytona, as we've saw after the 20-minute heat. 20-minute heat to kick it off. 40-minute feature with the invert coming up. Next week we head to Mexico. It's a track I really like, Mexico. It looks great, and it's fun to race on, Rich.
It certainly is. I've raced the full circuit. I've also raced the smaller circuit in little slower open wheel cars, and Mexico is always a great track. I love some road courses, and that stadium section is a blast.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see multi-class racing there at Mexico. I don't think I've ever broadcast. I don't think we've done broadcast there of any multi-class racing at Mexico. We've done GT3 a couple of times, but it's going to be interesting to see the multi-classes. It's not it's a Formula One FIA Grade 1 track, but it's not necessarily all that wide for a lot of overtakes. But
Oh,
we got the cars gridding up here for the second race. Rich, let's take a look and see how they're going to grid up.
oh, yeah, we've got Rowan Metz is starting on pole, Austin Verway second, Tommy Cook in third, Jordan Journeau in fourth, Kenny Stepp in fifth, Kevin Burrows in sixth, and we have Ty Marasco in seventh. Our first of our prototype cars, Dave Seats in eighth, and we have Daniel Maglin in ninth and Nathan Carter 10th. Corey Rutherford is in 11th, Victor Aldrich beside him in 12th.
In 13th place, we're going to find Sam Baumgartner and Mike Hamlin in 14th. And then Joshua Rutherford and Keon Maduro in 16th. Looks like they're gridding up mixed classes here, Rich, according to our grid. So interested to watch the prototypes that had a rough race trying to make their way through the GT3s early on. But Monday and Gunter in 17th and 18th, with Dees and Dania in 19th and 20th. Fleming and Curdy in 22nd, and Hart and Hill going to start 23rd and 24th. Oh, actually, looks they are sorting classes there now. They're letting all the prototypes get up to the front, so that's going to make the start a little less hectic here now.
Oh, I was getting all antsy waiting for corner one, but that should get things a little bit calmer. Now that I look, actually, this is quite interesting, Rob. It's not that the prototypes are going to the front; it's the prototypes are going to the back. If I'm seeing, oh, never mind.
No,
I don't
they're
know
at
what I'm talking.
yeah, they're at they're at the front, but looks like Brody Gunter either starting for the pits or not joining us for the 40-minute feature race. He did not grid up. The rest of the field has joined, and it looks like Rowan Metz going to start on pole here with Austin Verway, as you mentioned, to the outside. So prototypes get ready to go. The pace car is off. Rich, 40 minutes of action coming our way, and we'll see pit stops in this race this time.
Yeah, pit stops always add an extra element. You've got to master pit entry, pit exit, and planning your fuel strategy. But we're going to go on board coming into corner one right now. Look how close this racing is, folks. Side by side we go. Dave Seats holding up Joshua Rutherford, Robert Monday, Brian Dees. We're still going side by side through corners three. Looks like so far everybody getting through relatively cleanly. A little bit of bumping, but nobody getting off track at this stage in the prototypes. All of them battling hard. Dave Seats, after that incident earlier in race one, having himself a great race, pulling himself off to a big lead, making up for his misfortunes in race one.
Yeah, he's got that clean car back out, went into the garage, pulled out the spare car, and he's on fire here early on. But Damian Dania making his way through the field here too as well. Saw him involved in that incident. We know he's got a ton of pace. See how he does. Roman Curdy, saw him battling towards the end. Lost a couple of positions, unfortunately, for him, but he's up into second place right now. But we've got some moving in the GT3 field here as we're on board with Ken Estep. He's got Victor Aldrich up ahead of him. Looks like Estep a little slower through this section, losing a bunch of spots. Our race one winner, Maduro, going to get around him to get up into 8th place in class. He's got Hamlin and Aldrich just up ahead. So we'll see here if that Mustang really got the straight line speed we're used to seeing. It's the bump traffic on the top. They're trying to stay ahead of Maduro, but it looks like even alone that Mustang has the legs to catch up.
Yeah, well, Maduro's backing out though, realizing not wise spot to be on the inside on lap one, going too wide through the chicane. Cars going nose to tail, all getting in order. Whoa, somebody having a little bit of a spin coming in the exit there. That's rather unfortunate. Moving right back through the field is Kevin Burrows.
Yeah, Burrows with a rough start. He's running on the apron. That's going to get him a nasty slowdown if he doesn't get back up on the track. There he goes, he's back up there now, but rough start to the race for him. But those prototypes still battling tooth and nail on the inlay there, Rich. That's Curdy and Dania battling it out for second place. Looks like Adania trying to take that spot away. Curdy trying to hold on to it, but Seats right there too as well. They've reeled him back in after that little bit of a jump that he got out ahead of them.
Yeah, this is great racing in the prototypes. I wasn't sure what to expect. I haven't seen these guys race these before, Rob, but this is not disappointing at all. Dave Seats off to a great start. Roman Curdy, Damon Gagne, Christopher Hill. Look at these guys, nose to tail. We're 2/3 of the way through lap 2. What a great battle.
And they're going to take it down the high banks, finish up lap number 2, but we got battling back in GT3 too as well. Austin Verway leading the way. He's got Miglin and Metz right there too, as well as Miglin and Metz battling up on the oval. Metz going to pull down in behind Miglin, get a little bit of a tow. Thought about showing the nose out to the front, still lurking in the back end, letting that nose out a little bit, trying to force a mistake by Miglin.
Whoa.
Oh, they're going to go right down to the apron here. Met's going to come in real shallow into the bus stop. He wants to stay off those curves. We've seen what happens when you get up on those curves, but he really had to back out of it. So both of those drivers going to compromise their time a little bit. Avery Hart, one of our prototype drivers, with a little bit of a rough start for him. He's going to quickly try and find his way through this battle up ahead.
Yeah, that was a little scary earlier with Miglin and Metz, a little bit of a squeeze play entering the chicane. Never a good thing, but Avery Hart back underway. Thank you, Avery, for sharing your camera, letting the people at home see how this is done. Avery Hart back on track and looking for a little bit more down 7 positions, trying to get back into the mix.
Yeah, looking pretty calm, cool, and collected behind the wheel there. Let's pick back up Corey Rutherford. We saw the exciting finish at the line there between him and Nathan Carter. Rutherford right now sitting 8th in class. Carter's got himself all the way up into 2nd place. No. And that being, who was that? Who was it off the top of my head? I think that might have been Roman Metz. It was. It's unfortunate for him, Rich. Front end of that car heavily damaged.
Yeah, hopefully he can limp it around long enough until the first scheduled pit stop, because you'll get a free fast repair. It won't really cost him any time. Go back on board and see what happened here. And nothing he can do there. I mean, you can be the best defensive driver in the world, but when a car spins in front of you and puts it in the wall, there's just nowhere to go.
And I think unfortunately that was Miglin that was up ahead of him. Lost the back end of his car, and unfortunately Met's nowhere to go. As you mentioned, Avery Hart, who we were on board with just before that, was able to make it through. He almost got wrapped up in that, but thankfully it looks like both of these drivers waited for the field to go through before they pulled back on track, not to ruin anybody else's race. So that's always nice to see there. But back up front, the prototype class, we got a battle as Daniel now got himself up into top spot, Seats down to 2nd. Christopher Hill, our race 1 winner, now trying to make a move around Seats on the inside in the Whelen modified paint scheme.
Yeah, and this is fantastic, Rob. I mean, we've got 1, 2, they're all there. I mean, I can count to 6. I mean, I've only got 5 fingers on one hand, folks, and there's more cars than that. Christopher Hill battling hard, trying to catch up to Damon Gagne. Dave Seats looking for a little bit more, looking to get that position back. They're going side by side through the final little straightaway. They're going to be entering this tight left-hander, entering up onto the banking here. Dave Seats going around the outside. Usually I find the outside getting up high up there is the way to go for that big exit speed. He's going to get a tremendous amount of draft coming down here. Might not be wise, though, to try and make a move going into the chicane.
And we got, our top 6 here, Rich. Only separated by about 2 seconds in the prototype class, so still anybody's game here, and even Travis Fleming not out of it too as well, lurking in the back end too. So nobody really out of it here in the prototype field. And then over in GT3, Nathan Carter and Keon Maduro battling it out. Mustang versus BMW here. Maduro, our race 1 winner, he won the 20-minute sprint. Looking to go back-to-back here, but he's going to have to deal with Nathan Carter first to try and get himself back up to the sharp end of the GT3 field.
Yeah, Nathan Carter doing a great job holding off Kia Maduro at this stage, but Kia Maduro's got tremendous amount of pace in that Mustang. Wisely tucking it up in behind as we're going through the chicane. Like we said before, folks, not the best place to try and make a pass. Where you want to set this up is on corner exit. Kia Maduro getting a good exit, but so did Nathan Carter.
Yeah, Carter with a good run through there. The BMW, not necessarily a car that excels really in any one facet of racing. It's not the quickest in the corners, not the quickest in the straight line, but it's a good all-around car at each one of those facets. Where the Mustang, we've seen it time and again, it's very potent in the straight line, but doesn't like to turn all that much. But Maduro trying to make the move on the inside. Looks like Carter going to back out and give that position to him. We'll see if he can tuck in behind Maduro now and learn maybe where he's a little bit quicker, try and find a little more pace, as they've got Kevin Burrows and Victor Aldrich lurking not too far back.
Yeah, there's lots of cars out here today, and right now, Victor Aldrich is having himself a good race. Victor Aldrich, he said, in the Acura, beautifully painted Acura, as we noticed earlier. Austin Verlaine behind. So, oh man, look at these guys, Rob. We're 10 minutes into this race. That pass is getting done. Oh no, it got done, and then off track we go. So that is not how Austin wanted to make that pass.
No, absolutely not. Rough race for him. After that, he's going to have to tow and use his quick repair. We got a battle for top spot in the prototype class, as Hill was able to make the move into turn one around Dania, but Dania's been able to fight back. Dave Seats right there too as well. This trio working their way into turn one. Dania going to try and go the long way around, but Chris Hill going to have the shorter line here, trying to fight back. Looks like Dania's going to have it here. Now Hill going to have to tuck in behind, try and find another way around. We saw him make the move last lap through turn one. Unable to duplicate it this time, but Dave Seats kind of in the catbird seat right now, watching this battle up ahead. Letting these two guys battle it out. Maybe they'll end up taking each other out or spitting off track, and he'll be there to capitalize.
Yeah, he might be there to capitalize. But Roman Curdy and Robert Monday right in behind them. So, the drivers are getting their money's worth tonight, and you folks at home are getting your money's worth too. As these drivers are pushing it hard. We're 10 minutes into this race, and we've got this 7 cars all in a line still, folks.
I don't know if I'm just dumb or blind here, Rich, but it only took me, what are we at? We got 10 minutes, so about 30 minutes into racing here this evening to actually realize the Corvette Prototype is a right-hand drive machine.
I thought I noticed that when we were on board with Damien Dania earlier, and I thought, well, that's strange. I mean, Corvettes are Chevys, and Chevys are American, but hey, they're definitely on the right side, or maybe we're just we're doing a selfie pic here, and we're giving you a selfie shot. Who knows?
As our leader, Keon Maduro, off track, that's going to relinquish the lead in GT3 to Nathan Carter. Let's see exactly what happens. See if he got any help here. He just came in way too hot. Couldn't get the car woed down. Keeps it off the wall though, thankfully for him, but it's going to cost him a little bit of time. It looks like Jordan Journeau had a bit of an issue too as well. Let's see what happened to him. Another one of these Mustang drivers. Looks like it's going to be almost a carbon copy of what we just saw happen to Maduro. So those Mustangs, I mentioned before, Rich, they don't necessarily like to turn unless it's in a circle, which we just saw Journeau give us an example of right there.
Yeah, Mustangs can be a handful, but once you master it, the people who master it definitely show a lot of pace. And go back up what's going on up in the prototypes. Dave Seats now down to 4th. Take a look and see what happened here and how come he is in 4th. We got the 1, 2, 3 cars, and a little bumping, a little grinding, and it's a little bit of a rough ride there. Roman Curdy getting by on the grass.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Let's take a look from the blimp. Roman Curdy in the purple machine, Seats in the white and black. Oh, it just looks like they just kind of came together. Both drivers kind of fighting for the same piece of real estate, Rich, but thankfully it looked like it was just a little bit of rubbing. They're both going to be able to continue on. They only fell about a second and a half back of Dania and Hill battling up top, as now Christopher Hill's got himself back ahead of Damien Dania. We'll see if Dania can mount the charge here again, as we've seen a number of times so far this race, but right now Christopher Hill, the man to beat.
Yeah, Christopher Hill's having himself a fabulous effort, starting way back there, and Dania Hill, though, trying to apply that pressure, Rob. We've seen him be fast all night long. Right now, he's in 2nd place. They got themselves a nice little 1-second gap to Roman Curdy. Dave Seats in behind. It's a matter right now, I think, if I'm these two guys, I'm not going to be trying to make too many advances. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a gap between the guys behind. And oh no, Dave Seats going off in corner 1, pulls it off, calls it a night.
And let's take a look at what happened to him as he's heading into turn 1 here. High up on the bank, bringing it down. Oh, just snaps the back end around. We saw, heavy impact into the tire wall. We saw that happen to one of the other prototypes early on. I'm trying to remember who it was off the top of my head. Might have been Avery Hart, I think, in race 1, where we saw the downshifted a little too early, snapped the back end around, and off he went. But a little bit of rubbing there from Christopher Hill as he and Dania head back up onto the oval. So we'll see if Dania can get a run there. That's going to allow Roman Curry start to close back in on that duo up top. Now under a second between him and the top 2.
Man, that's a good spot to be. In catbird seat in draft range. So, and with those pit stops still to come, you can certainly make up some time, even if you don't make it up on the track. We got Keon Maduro, though. Keon Maduro closed back up now on Nathan Carter once again after that little off-track excursion. Mustang not doing quite as good a job as lawn mowing as he was hoping for, but getting back underway, closing that gap right down. Great position to be in as they're about to enter onto the high banked oval section.
Yeah, the landscaping company will be happy that he helped them trim the grass a little bit here this week, Rich, as we got a play for top spot as Roman Curdy from 3rd place gets around Dania up in the top spot, locking up the left front, though. That's going to allow Dania to pop back in, but Christopher Hill going to cycle down into 3rd place. So we got battles for top spot in both classes. Nathan Carter leading the way in GT3, Roman Curdy now leading the way in the prototype class.
You couldn't ask for better racing, Rob. That's what you want to see. You want to see battles for the lead, and we've got battles in both classes. So you said this is fantastic for week 1 American Sim Racing League Sportscar Championship at Daytona.
Absolutely. Let's take a look and see how the Big Chief is doing right now. Corey Rutherford got himself into 7th place in class, 5 seconds back of Sam Baumgartner, but he's ahead of his brother Joshua, who's in the prototype. Rough race for Joshua right now, but Corey's showing us exactly how not to navigate through the bus stop there, Rich, but thankfully he didn't get the spin. Might have a little bit of undercarriage damage, but he's going to be able to continue on.
Yeah, Corey unfortunately had himself a little spin exiting corner 7, going onto the banking earlier in the race. That set him back a little bit, but wow, Damien Dania going on by a car on the infield. So Damien Dania is in 2nd place, Roman Curdy in 1st, Christopher Hill in 3rd. So there's your 3 leaders right now, folks, in the prototype class. These 3 Corvettes, as we're taking a look at Damien Dania going up the outside of Roman Curdy. Damien Dania a little bit of ahead right now, but it's going to be a matter of who's the latest breaker. Damien Dania looking to make that move, but the shortest distance between 2 points is taken by Roman Curdy. Roman Curdy getting a little bit squirrely, but managing to hold up Damien Dania for now.
Yeah, we'll have to go on board next time if they're up on the oval, Rich. It looked like Dania got a strong draft, was able to move to the outside, but then it looked like I don't know if they started to hit the rev limiter at the high end. It looked like he kind of just hit a wall, just all of a sudden couldn't go any faster. It kind of topped out the top speed there. So we'll go on board next time, see if maybe they're hitting the rev limiter or if they're just going to cap out at a certain speed, which would explain why we've seen a number of drivers kind of struggling to make the move into turn 1 unless they really get a run or somebody backs out on the inside.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of tire smoke under braking too, so I'm assuming these cars don't have ABS, Rob. I'm not sure if you know.
I don't think there's ever been a prototype made that's had ABS off the top of my head,
Yeah,
Rich,
that's true
so
too.
I'm going to say probably no.
Yeah, so that's certainly throwing a little bit of caution to the wind as we look at Maduro. Maduro getting by Nathan Carter, so Maduro back up to the top in the GT3 field. Nathan Carter in 2nd. Maduro having himself a fabulous effort, up 9 positions. Nathan Carter up 2 positions. Mike Hamlin 3 seconds back in 3rd.
Yeah, we'll see if maybe if these two battle a little more at the sharp end of the GT3 field, if that might bring Mike Hamlin in the Porsche back into that battle. We've seen a challenge here for top spot again in prototypes as Dania trying to make his way around the outside of Curry. They're going to have lap traffic just ahead of them heading into turn 1. Oh, I thought they were going to split the Ferrari there for a minute, Rich, but everybody backed out of it. That The 66
Wow.
machine of Kevin Astep just trying to stay out of the way and let them through. Well done by all four of those drivers not to get tangled up.
Yeah, that was scary. Ken was doing his best effort to keep out of the way, and just the great drive by all four. But we're gonna go on board here with Christopher Hill. Christopher Hill falling along behind Roman Curdy and Damien Dania. Right now, Damien has the lead, but now Roman has the lead. They're going side by side through the final quarter before they enter up onto the high banked oval. Right now, it's Roman Curdy, Damien Dania, Christopher Hill.
Yeah, let's go on board with Dania this time. I want to see if, as mentioned, I want to see if they're hitting the rev limiter on the. Excuse me, I'm tripping over my tongue here, Rich. I want to see if they hit the rev limiter on the front straight here to see if maybe that's why we're seeing the drivers really struggle to finish off the pass into turn one. Is Curdy able to fight back through the bus stop? Not too often you see two drivers go through the bus stop side by side and everybody survive it, Rich.
Yeah, that was unexpected and well done by all concerned, to be honest. I'm going to try and be a little quiet so we can possibly hear this rev limiter here, Rob.
He's got all the lights lit up, but he's not pulling out this time, so it'll be a little harder to hear. But I definitely think that they're probably hitting a wall with the revs on the car. They're running the medium downforce. Maybe if they're running the low downforce, they might have a couple mile an hour extra into turn one to make that pass, Rich. But it is what it is. They're battling here tooth and nail.
Yeah, it's making for some good close racing, whatever it is. So this setup may not be perfect for this track, but you know what, Rob? It's perfect for racing, and that's what you want to see, good close racing. We're about halfway through this, just over 20 minutes left in this 40-minute race. I'm going to go back on board here. Guion Maduro still doing a good job holding up Nathan Carter. Guion making that move about a lap or two ago. Nathan Carter trying to hold on tough, stay in that draft, and maybe battle back a little later on.
Yeah, we'll see how he can do. Looks like something happened to Travis Fleming. Let's take a quick look here and see what happened to him. Heading out of the kink, heading back towards the oval section, and again we're seeing another one of these prototypes where the back end just snaps through. I'm curious, Rich. I'm curious to find out whether that's downshifting a little too early in the rear diff locking up and snapping around, or if it's just maybe a little heavy on the rear brake bias.
Yeah, we will never know, Rob, because we're in the booth and not in the car. So fortunately, we don't have to worry about those issues. But Damien Dania, Roman Curdy, Christopher Hill, these three drivers have been close all race long, and here we are, more than halfway through. Right now, Roman Curdy content just to tuck it up, stick it in behind in second, but Christopher Hill getting a little bit antsy, want a little bit more, but man, these guys are getting close, but no touch.
No touching in sports car racing, Rich. We're seeing some drivers come in for their fuel stops now, as we got a number of the GT3 machines into pit lane. We've got Corey Rutherford in there, Victor Aldrich into as well, Ken Estep, Jordan Journeau. It really looks like Rutherford coming around to finish up his pit cycle. So I'm wondering here when we'll start to see this trio up front of the prototype field come in. I wonder if they're all going to come in together, Rich, or if somebody's going to try and dive in and either try and undercut or overcut to get out of this battle.
If I'm one of these drivers, I'm not coming in by myself, Rob. You need that draft to keep that pace up, in my opinion. And right now, these guys they're the class of the field in this race anyway, in the prototype. So I want to come in when the other two guys come in, because I want to keep battling. I don't want to stick my nose out on my own and risk losing pace with the other two.
Absolutely. And we should give a shout out to anybody out there watching who might be interested in joining this racing action. It is free to join this season. They've removed the entry fees so you can join in. The link to the league Discord is in the description of the video, so hop in, sign up, get your choice of the Daytona Prototype, which is a legacy car. And I had a look, it's only like $3 to buy this Corvette Prototype. I
Hey,
actually own it. I'm kind of surprised.
even I
that
can
didn't.
afford that, Rob.
I might actually go out and buy just to do some laps in it because it looks like a ton of fun. Yeah, or you can pick one of the GT3 machines. So if you're interested in joining, hop on in. We'll be next week at Mexico. Should be a fun event there.
Definitely. And we take a look here. Damon Dania, Christopher Hill, Roman Curdy, they're coming up on the back of Sam Baumgarten. So 3 drivers having to negotiate some of the GT3 machinery. So the deeper this race goes, the more and more traffic they're going to encounter. It's a matter of who gets through cleanest. And right now, looks like Damon Dania taking advantage. Christopher Hill's tucked in behind, so they're going to look to clear through. They get by Sam Baumgartner. All 3 drivers back going on nose to tail. Damon Dania got a little bit of a gap, but that's going to close up under draft.
Yeah, we've seen that the draft range fairly potent on these cars. I'm not sure exactly what it is. The GT3s is about 8/10, but it seems like you'd be maybe a second, even a little more in these prototype cars, Rich. You can really start to feel that draft and have it work for you. But Dania right now leading the way, 4/10 ahead of Hill, who's another 2/10 ahead of Curry. So all these drivers still well within draft. Brian Dees, unfortunately for him, 42 seconds back in 4th place, but he has completed his pit stop. He's our highest ranked driver in the prototype class to complete the pit stop. But as I say that, here comes our leaders into pit lane. Oh, Dania locks up the back end. And a little bit of contact there between Curdy and Hill, fighting over the left side. Into their stall as they go. We're going to see who's going to get out here first, Rich.
Well, it's that was quite the pit entry, folks. Not something you necessarily want to see. Damon Dania pushing it to the limits. Hopefully, got that cart slowed down under the speed limit. And it looks like Christopher Hill getting a big jump. Damon Dania in behind him, but Roman Curdy taking the loss, and Damon Dania is out ahead. Christopher Hill second, and Roman Curdy is going to have to battle back a little bit now.
Yeah, Curdy a little slower in his box, almost 3 seconds longer in his box. So we'll have to keep an eye on him, see if he can close that gap down, Rich. But he's got his work cut out, as Dania and Hill almost identical as times in their box. 12.52 for Hill, 12.68 for Dania. But while they were in the pits, looks like something might have happened to our leader in GT3, Kian Maduro. Let's see what happened to him. Heading into turn 1 solo here. We've seen the Mustang's not happy, and again, another Mustang going to lose the back end through turn 1, Rich.
We've seen that in the last couple of nights of covering these races, Rob. We've seen that, probably a dozen times out of the Mustang. We're going to go back up to the front, though. Back up into the prototype, the C7 Daytonas. Damon Dania got himself about a 3/10 of second lead over Christopher Hill, but we're going to go a little further back in the field. Avery Hart in 6th place. Avery Hart is following along behind Travis Fleming as they exit the infield section back up onto the oval.
We're going to move for top spot. Hill making the pass into the bus stop ahead of Dania. And if you're Roman Curdy, that's exactly what you want to see in behind, is he's going to need them to battle to try and get back up into that trio that we saw before the pit stops. But Hill going to lead them around. See if Dania makes the move as they're coming up to Kian Maduro just ahead of him in the Mustang, who he only fell down to 3rd place with that spin, Rich.
Well, that just goes to show you the outright pace that Maduro has, because he's been off track earlier. Then he had that spin in turn 1 the last lap around. And still, like you said, in 3rd place. So definitely demonstrating a tremendous amount of pace. Just has to keep it on the track now for the rest of this race.
Absolutely. John board here with Daniel looking back at Christopher Hill. Couldn't quite get the run out, tracking out to the wide side of the track as he had to navigate the lap traffic of Maduro. So I've been able to put the pressure on Dania here as they finish the infield section of the track. We'll see if he's able to mount a charge once they get back up onto the ovals. But Mike Hamlin taking top spot in GT3 by virtue of that spin from Maduro. Nathan Carter still sitting comfortably in 2nd place. And Maduro, as we mentioned, down to 3rd place. But looks like Corey Rutherford might have had a spin too as well. While we're having a look at those prototype cars and see what happened to him. head into the bus stop. The purple haze Ferrari up and onto the curbs. Oh, man. Oh, we saw him to jump the curbs earlier. He was able to get away with it before, but unfortunately this time, Rich, he wasn't so lucky. He's going to have to do the old Austin Powers 5-point turn, get himself back on track.
Yeah, we're going up prototypes here. Christopher Hill, Damien Daniel, still battling hard. 12 and a half minutes left in this race. So tucking in behind, coming across the oval. Christopher Hill leading Damien Daniel. One thing I want to note here, Rob, is Mike Hamlin made a tremendous jump in the pits because Nathan Carter was in the lead. We may have to keep an eye on Mike Hamlin, make sure he took enough fuel because he was in the pits a lot shorter than anybody else.
Yeah, just under 15 seconds in his stall for Hamlin. Carter, 17.4. Maduro, what was Maduro? 17.2. And then looks like the rest of our GT3 field in around 16. We've got Daniel Miglin at 15 seconds, so it might have been an underfill for him too as well. But yeah, you mentioned it. Mike Hamlin, that Porsche, might be a touch and go for him as far as fuel load in the GT3 battle, with Nathan Carter only 2.3 seconds back of him. Carter definitely, I think, has enough fuel load to get him to the end, so it may come down to a fuel safe game at the end of at the top end of the GT3 field.
Yeah, you never want to have to try and save fuel, especially 3 seconds worth of fuel. Not around Daytona, not unless you've got somebody to draft behind. And if you're drafted, he's got nobody to draft behind, he's in the lead. So back on board here, though, we're going to follow the leaders in the GT Prototype class. Christopher Hill, Damon Dania. These two drivers just kind of battling nose to tail. I'm wondering if Dania is content to just sit there and maintain that gap with 11 minutes to go over Roman Curdy behind. But Roman Curdy, he's about 3.5 seconds behind after the pit stops. He's closed that down to about 2.7 seconds. So, you know, he's making his moves. He's trying to catch up.
Well, if we saw anything from Dave Seats in race number 1, maybe Roman Curdy needs to jump the curbs in the bus stop, get a little damage on the front end of that car, because Seats was a little bit of a lightning bolt, Rich, with that front end damage in race number 1. He was charging back up through the field, so might be a little bit of secret sauce here in the old Corvette Daytona Prototype machine. Go out there on the first lap, cause a little bit of damage on the front end of your car, and pick up a couple mile an hour.
Kind of like how we used to knock the mirrors off on the street circuits, Rob, just to get ourselves a little more aerodynamics. But Roman Curdy, in spite of having the slower pit stop, continuing to battle hard and fight back here in 6th place, Travis Fleming. Travis Fleming is doing himself a good job at trying to catch up to Avery Hart. These two drivers having a nice little battle here, folks. We're over 30 minutes into this 40-minute race, still battling hard for 5th place.
Yeah, Avery Hart sitting comfortably in 5th place, Fleming in 6th. They've got a couple gap over Robert Monday in 7th place, 24 seconds up on him. So it's going to be a battle here between these two for that spot, but we got a battle up front for top spot as Danny now moving underneath Hill into the bus stop. Going to take that spot away. Now it's Hill's turn to follow Danny around, maybe save a little bit of fuel here.
That's you really, at Daytona, and based on what I saw last night and other races we've called before, Rob, and participated in as we watched them going around the GT3 car of Nathan Carter. Wow, he's getting real close in there. But really, at Daytona, it's a matter of strategy, I think, at this stage in the race. If two cars are broken away from the pack, as we've seen here, wow, Nathan Carter's tremendous amount of grip coming around corner 1 in that BMW. Nice job of driving. Everybody getting through cleanly with minimal time lost. But it's a matter of strategy. You know the draft's strong. Do you want to make your move now? Do you want to be in the lead with 5 minutes or 2 laps to go? Or do you want to save it to the last lap? We shall see.
I think you want to be in 2nd place until the front stretch, Rich, as that's where it matters. You're going to get that draft and move around them. But I noticed something when they were overtaking Nathan Carter there. It looked like very similar top speed between the prototypes and the GT3. They kind of got up along beside Nathan Carter, but they couldn't really pass him. They were going door to door there into turn 1. So interesting to see there that the it's actually kind of common where the prototypes and even say the Formula One cars, where they're quick from the downforce. They can get quick on and in and out of corners using the amount of downforce that they have, but in a straight line, because they do have all that downforce, they're not necessarily as quick as a GT3 machine or a GT machine, like a GTE or GT3 machine, where they struggle a little bit on the top end, and I think we just saw that in action.
Yeah, all that downforce is pushing that weight. That's just increasing the weight, the effective weight of the cars. So right now we're going back on board here, watching Travis Fleming come through the chicane. Travis Fleming doing a good job of negotiating things. Travis Fleming falling behind Avery Hart right now, 1.75 seconds. Avery Hart's made a little bit of a gap now, Rob.
Yeah, looking fairly comfortable now over Fleming. So pick up our GT3 leader, who continues to open up that gap on Nathan Carter. But again, we're keeping an eye on the fuel load here from Mike Hamlin, as he's by far the shortest time in his stall here. Did he just have big brain galaxy as far, or big brain move here as far as fuel load, Rich, or potentially underfueled?
Well, we will find out soon enough, but Roman Curdy coming up on the back of Mike Hamlin. Roman Curdy looking to get by cleanly and get through quickly, try and close back up on the guys up ahead. Looks like he's going to get this job. Like you said, Rob, the top speed, it just isn't there. I mean, certainly the cornering and the handling is, but the top speed, the differential isn't all that much between these cars.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Actually, I'm looking here at timing and scoring, and the top speed, the highest top speed registered in the prototype class is a 181 mile an hour for Brian D's last lap. So we had a little bit of draft there. And in our GT3s, the highest top speed was, our leader, Mike Hamlin, 180 top speed. So they're almost identical on the top end. So that explains why we saw that the prototype drivers got up alongside Nathan Carter, but they didn't have that extra overrun to make the move.
Yeah, like you said, that could be a combination of downforce and gearing. So we're going to go back on the inlay up to the front. Christopher Hill, Damian Dania continuing nose to tail. Right now we got 5.5 minutes left to go, but they've increased their gap over Roman Curdy. So two drivers, I think, doing some strategic driving, making it a battle of two cars going into the final couple of laps instead of a battle of three cars.
Yeah, but Curdy's getting closer here, Rich. That gap was about 3 seconds. He's got it down to 1.6, and he still has time. We've got just over 5 minutes to go, so that's going to be about 3.5 laps or so left, maybe 4 laps, depending when they cross the line, Rich. So he's not out of it yet. We could see something here from Roman Curdy yet.
Yeah, especially with the lap traffic, or no, I shouldn't say the lap traffic. I mean, it is lap traffic. It's not their fault, but with the mixed classes and the GT3 cars are behind, and wow, doing a little bit of sliding going around that corner. It looked like it was Christopher Hill. Wondering if that's going to give Damian Dania the opportunity he's looking for. I don't think Damian's going to jump at this stage right now, though. At least I don't think I would be. Meanwhile, up ahead, we've got Joshua Rutherford a lap down. I'd expect Joshua to move out of the way, but going to have to wait till after the chicane at this stage.
Yeah, unfortunate race for Joshua. See if we can get it gathered up next week for Mexico. But he's got the leaders sniffing on his rear bumper. He's going to give them a little bit of draft here. So Christopher Hill loving that. That's going to help keep Damian Dania in behind. He's going to go up to block that move from Dania as they head to the start-finish line. Will we see Dania tucked to the inside? Will he try and get back to the sharpest end of the sharp end of the field here, Rich? As he makes the move into the inside now, will Christopher Hill fight back on the outside and hold on to that position? Looks like he's going to be able to do it. Dania actually lost a little bit of ground there through turn one. Had a little bit of a slide heading into turn one, compromised his exit pace, Rich. So he's going to have to regroup here, try and mount another charge on Christopher Hill.
Yeah, definitely, and he's got some opportunity, and a great job by Joshua Rutherford, just giving a little lift at the end of that straightaway, letting the leaders by. Now we got 1, 2, 3, Christopher Hill, Damian Dania, Roman Curdy. Roman Curdy getting real close now, Rob. I guess you're right, I'm wrong, because he's doing his thing, and we're going to go back into the GT3 cars. Corey Rutherford in 5th place right now. Corey on a recovery mission, doing quite a decent job of recovering too, moving all the way back up to 5th.
Yeah, even with that incident that he had, that's a little bit of a lie there in timing and scoring, so we put that back. But even with that incident that he had, he's still up 5 positions on the day, our biggest mover overall, Rich, in class for GT3. So what could have been here for Corey Rutherford if he wouldn't have had those spins? I think he might have been battling with Aldrich for 4th place. I'm not sure if he would have had the pace to catch Maduro. Maduro's had his own instance here in this race too as well, but all in all, strong race for the big chief, Corey Rutherford.
Yeah, and that purple haze machine, I'll assume it's a Jimmy Hayes reference. I don't know. Or Jimmy Hayes.
No, I can tell you all about Purple Haze, Rich. Purple Haze is actually a private individual, has been a longtime fan and supporter of the league, and is the sponsor of the broadcast for the season. So they go by Purple Haze Autosport to be anonymous. So that's it's why Corey Rutherford running the logos on the side of the car. But again, hats off to them. A couple of the sponsors of the league, CGR Graphics, who is responsible for doing a lot of the paints in the league, and then Mullet Music Productions, who is actually Joshua Rutherford, Corey Rutherford's brother. The intro song that we had here tonight was done by him too as well. So we thank you for that, Joshua, and best of luck in your racing.
Love having sponsors. Sponsors what makes it happen, folks. As Rob said, they waived race fees for this season. Sponsorship is what's paying for all of this entertainment, excitement for the drivers, being able to race, for you at home, being able to watch this broadcast. Right now, we've still got a good battle. Damien Denia, Christopher Hill, Roman Curdy, right in the mix now. We're running out of time, folks, at minute 17. I think they're going to have one more lap once they cross the start-finish line. So it's now or never.
Roman Curdy got there when it mattered the most here, Rich. So called it earlier, said that there's a chance that we may see him sneak back up there. He's been able to do it, but now is he going to have enough time to mount a charge on Hill and Dania?
Yeah, well, he's mounting a good charge on Hill. It's a question of, can he push Hill up all the way up to get up to Dania? So as we know, these guys are limited on top speed. They're drafting, they're pushing, they're trying to do everything they can to get that extra mile or two an hour across the start finish line, I believe, for the final time here. Gonna go 1, 2, 3. We've got Damien Dania, Christopher Hill, Roman Curdy, and they're coming up on the lap traffic, Rob. This is gonna get interesting. We've got Robert Monday up ahead.
Yeah, Robert Monday just kind of seeing his mirror through the top 3 coming up behind him here, Rich, as we get a little argy-bargy between Roman Curdy and Christopher Hill. Curdy going to hold on to 2nd place. That's going to allow Danny to open up a 6/10 gap. That's not exactly what they want to see here as they head back up into the oval. It's still well within draft, but you definitely want to be as close to the car ahead of you when you enter back up onto the oval as you can.
And there's a little bit of issue. Whoa, going up the inside. Here we go. Oh, Rob, they're a little bumping, a little grind, and we've got Christopher Hill, Roman Curdy, side by side. That's not where you want to be. Damien Dania loving what he's seeing. Drivers over a second behind him now. Damien Dania going, thank you very much. You guys keep battling side by side. I'm going to go straight.
Into the bus stop they go for the final time. Oh, the lap traffic on Monday almost got involved right in the middle. Is Curdy and Hill still bumping through the bus stop. Curdy going to go off. Hill going to continue on. Curdy probably not going to be too happy about that, but they've been bumping and banging that entire lap. But Damien Dania taking advantage. He's comfortably out front. He's going to have this one, Rich, as long as he doesn't bin it heading into the start-finish line. But Damien Dania going to take the 40-minute feature race. Looks like Christopher Hill going to have to settle for 2nd place, and Roman Curdy going to come home the final step on the podium. Mike Hamlin, though, in GT3, comfortably ahead of Nathan Carter, 6 seconds up the track for him. He's passing the lap traffic of Roman Metz there now.
I can't believe his, I mean, that Porsche has been miserly on fuel this evening, getting the race victory. Mike Hamlin, my goodness, what a drive.
Well done. Hats off to him. Nathan Carter going to come home in 2nd place with Keon Maduro. Going to round out the podium. Comfortably ahead of Victor Aldrich, who's going to come home in 4th place. Aldrich a little farther back. Rough race for him, but he's going to get it to the line here, Rich, although it looks like That Mustang in behind him, not all that happy. Looks like he was crabbing a little bit heading into the bus stop.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to be trying to drive a Mustang around these high-speed banked ovals.
No, absolutely not. See Aldrich heading to the line. Corey Rutherford going to come home in 5th place in GT3. I believe he's also going to be the final car on the lead lap, as I believe Sam Baumgartner in 6th place is potentially a lap down already, but we'll see here once Corey crosses the line. Oh.
No.
I'm not sure what happened there, Rich, but Baumgartner got a little help there at the tire wall, but that's going to make everything official as he tows back to pit lane. Let's take a look at our official results. In prototypes, Damien Daniel takes the win ahead of Christopher Hill, with Brian Dees rounding out the podium. Avery Hart in 4th, with Travis Fleming in 5th. Roman Curdy, Robert Monday, Josh Rutherford, Dave Seats, and Brody Gunter round out the prototype field. And then what do we have over in GT3, Rich?
In GT3, Mike Hamlin with a fantastic pit stop takes victory with 5 seconds over Nathan Carter in 2nd. Kian Maduro rounds out the podium. Then we had Victor Aldrich in 4th, Corey Rutherford in 5th, Sam Baumgartner a lap down in 6th, Daniel Meglin in 7th, Ty Marasco in 8th, Kenny Stepp in 9th. Then rounding out the top 10 is Rowan Metz 4 laps down, Jordan Journeau out early, as is Kevin Burrows, Austin Burway, and Tommy Cook.
Yeah, rough race for a few drivers in our GT3 field. But all in all, Rich, Daytona, it's always safe to say Daytona is going to provide a ton of action no matter what you're racing here. And again, we saw some battles right down to the last lap in the prototype class both times. And strong race by Keon Maduro in GT3. Mike Hamlin taking the win in the feature. Nathan Carter recovers after his incident with the big chief, Corey Rutherford, at the line after the first heat race. So hats off to all of our drivers. And definitely we're going to see a bit of a different track next week. We head to Mexico City, one of the new tracks, not this season, but the season past. So our drivers have had plenty of time to learn it. I suspect there's probably going to be some they're going to have to try and learn the track here, as it's always one of those things where the new tracks, some people wait and buy it a little later. So we'll see who's put in the homework for next week, Rich.
Yeah, and it's also a track at altitude, so that may make a little bit of a difference too, because we know Daytona's not at altitude. I mean, the beach is just down the road.
Absolutely. So we'll wait another minute here to see if anybody pops into the waiting room here to have a little chat. But I'm just going to quickly take and see if we can find the incident between, it was at Christopher Hill and Roman Curdy heading into the bus stop again. I just wanted to see as they battled for pretty much that entire last lap, Rich. And I just want to take another look at it if I can finally find it. Here we go. It looks like this is the battle here. Let's take another quick look at how this unfolded on the last lap here from into turn 3. Just stick with it as they battled tooth and nail here. A lot of bumping and banging going on there as Curdy got a little loose into the side of Hill. Hill's going to give it back to him a little bit here coming in, but I think all in all it was fair for the most part. You know, it's the last lap, you're going to go elbows out a little bit.
Yeah, that first one, I think Roman Curdy kind of sent it in a little hard, but hey, Christopher Hill coming right back, no contact or very little contact there in comparison. Right now we've got a little lap traffic up, kind of getting in the way, not on purpose, of course. It's just there's only so much space. They're bumping, they're grinding, they're side by side. Everything looks pretty fair and clean here, Rob. Let's see what happens as they're going down and entering the chicane.
Yeah, that's the chicane. That's probably the big bone of contention between the two of them as we follow along here behind with the drone. So going door to door, Curdy on the inside, Hill on the top side. They had that lap traffic to deal with a little bit, and then I think it was more or less looked like the curbs just kind of threw Curdy out a little bit towards hill, and as I mentioned early on, it's really difficult for two cars to go through that section side by side, Rich, and I'm actually surprising they both didn't end up getting wrecked out, is what we saw happen to Gunter and Dania in the heat race. So thankfully they were both able to get through and get to the checkered flag, ended up finishing first, second, and third anyways amongst those three drivers. So all in all, heck of a race, and hats off to them.
Oh, definitely. It was a fantastic race. You know, that was my first experience with this group, and I rather enjoyed it, Rob. It was a lot of fun with watching the American Sim Racing League Week 1, and I'm glad we had the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like nobody going to come in and chat with us, so we'll see if maybe next week we can get them to come in and have a chat. But otherwise, we'll sign off for this evening. So we'll catch you next week, same time, same place. Where, as I mentioned, we're going to head to Mexico City, a drastically different track than what we saw here this evening. So it should be a ton of fun. And for Richard Swindell is in the booth with me. I'm Rob Campbell. This has been Racers Nexus. Again, if you're interested in joining the league, you can find their Discord link in the description of the video. Hop in, get signed up, and we'll see you on track next week. But otherwise, bye for now.
Good night.